Comparing yourself to other people is a natural and deeply embedded feature in our human nature. We have a tendency to desire what other people have. But in an era of social media, this has reached another level. We are constantly bombarded with images and messages of other people's success and accomplishments. This can create a distorted view of reality as we only see the highlights of other people's lives and not the struggles or challenges they face. How can we truly be satisfied with ourselves and our normal life when all we see is this perfect image of everybody else?
Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. What that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. You know, maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You know, you can't tell, and people have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. And you know, I can give you just one example. Is like I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush me, would crush the typical person. They're just working flat out, like 90 hours a week, and they have thousands of people depending on them. And you know, they have their money, and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. You know, they don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off.
Most of us experiencing low moments. No one life is perfect and everyone goes through difficult times. By comparing your insides to other people's outsides, you might feel like you're never doing enough. In reality, you're comparing your raw version of yourself to carefully curated version of someone else's life. These unhealthy expectations can have a real damaging effect on our personality and our behavior. Comparison is the thief of joy. When we compare ourselves to others, we often end up feeling insecure about our own abilities or achievements. This kind of comparison can lead to envy, jealousy, and even depression. This quote is a reminder that our happiness in life should not be dependent on how we measure up to others, but rather on our own sense of purpose and fulfillment. I'm wondering, would you seek other people's experiences and achievements if you were fully engaged and content with your own life? Every minute you spend wishing you had someone else's life is a minute spent wasting yours. When you find yourself comparing to other people, it's an opportunity for you to discover your own dreams and desires. I once heard Dr. Peterson addressing this issue, answering to one of his viewers.
Rose says, I'm consumed by envy. I can hardly stand to read or watch or listen to anyone more successful than myself. In what directions am I aiming wrong? Okay, well look, Rose, it's pretty damn useful to figure out that you're consumed by envy. That's a good start, you know, that's a real self-realization and an important one. Okay, so the first thing we might ask is, well, it's likely reasonable for you to observe that that's not optimal for you, right? Because envy, that's that resentment that I was talking about earlier, or even worse, that jealousy. It's like, it's not a pleasant phenomenological state. It's not a pleasant state of experience. Okay, so look, let's look at it this way. Well, what are you envious of? You know, you say, I can hardly stand to read or watch or listen to anyone more successful than myself. Well, that's pretty vague, Rose. And you want to tighten up your envy a bit. It's like, you'll find that there are certain people that you're particularly envious of, and others whose accomplishments really don't disturb you, let's say. So the first thing you want to do is figure out which people it is that you're particularly envious of. And then you want to figure out, well, what is it that you think they have? Look, in your envy lurks the beginnings of a structure of ambition. You wouldn't be envious of something if you didn't believe that that was a value that you should possess. Okay, so the first thing is, make a list of all the people you're envious of, and then figure out what it is about them that you envy. Okay, now those are your goals all of a sudden.
Sometimes our initial reaction when we see other people's success could be frustration and envy. If that's the case, this is a good indication that that's something that you deeply desire for yourself. The question is, are you feeling those emotions because you want those things, or are you feeling bad because you know deep down that you have what it takes to achieve it, but you haven't done it yet? If you believe you deserve those things, I think you need to objectively answer, why haven't you? Have you dedicated enough time and effort? Have you sacrificed something to achieve it? Maybe you think these people are just lucky. And sure, maybe some people are, but most of them work extremely hard for what they have. Perhaps whenever we feel triggered because of other people's experiences, we could use this as an inspiration to work on our own unique path. Channeling those intense emotions like jealousy or envy towards something good can be extremely useful, and ultimately it can transform those negative feelings into genuine gratitude and admiration and lead us to accomplishment of our own goal. Sometimes in order to achieve our goals, we need a little humility and honesty. Instead of feeling frustration and bitterness about other people's success, we can ask ourselves what this person has done it right. What kind of steps they took in order to achieve their goal. It's easy to buy into those negative feelings, but imagine two people. One who's always being triggered when they hear about success of their friends, and another one who is really happy about the good news. First one doesn't want to hear anything about it, and the other one is curious and asking questions how they have achieved it. Which of those two, in your opinion, has a better chance to learn something in this situation? Which one has a better chance to achieve similar goal? If we can be honest enough with ourselves and recognize that maybe there are things we haven't mastered yet, and perhaps we can learn a thing or two from people who has. This kind of attitude will skyrocket our progress and will allow us to find a much better path to achieving our goals. Not to mention that people would be actually happy to share the good news with us in the first place. This is a way better strategy not only for your outcome, but also for your mental well-being and for your relationships. I really like this quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try, you will be lonely often, and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. Nietzsche believed that society often imposes certain values, beliefs, and expectations on individuals, and that these external pressures can make you forget about the true value in yourself. He believed that it was important for individuals to resist these pressures and to strive to discover their own unique experiences and values. Don't waste your life on trying to impress other people. Find the things that you deep inside find valuable and fulfilling, and you can often find those things in the most simple and mundane experiences. Grass often seems to be greener on the other side of the river, but in reality, it's not. Find peace and courage to pursue your own dreams and aspirations. Align your goals with your values. Cultivate your own unique strengths and talents. I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
And this is why one of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win, because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And you know, no doubt there are some things that you could improve. You know, if you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind.